Hey, it's Michelle here. Welcome to High Cap Friday. I'm so excited because today we're going to be talking about a very real gap. And it's a gap that can leak a lot of energy. It's a gap that can keep us feeling like we're on the hamster wheel, that we're busy every single second, but then we get to the day and we're like, man, I feel like I got nothing done today, right? Like I feel like the needle didn't move today. We're going to get behind that today. So, walk through this with me. Picture yourself. Maybe you've done this. These are true for me. But I'm driving somewhere with my kids. And the minute I get to a red light, my body, just like without any conscious awareness or effort, reaches for my phone in the cup holder. And I just automatically open my go-to apps and I start scrolling through them, right? Until the light turns green. Then I put my phone away and I keep going. Or it's like I'm on the couch with my kids and like, Mom, let's watch a movie together. It's Saturday afternoon and we get all the blankets and make popcorn and hot chocolate. And we sit down and the movie starts and y'all, like 5 minutes into the movie, I'm already grabbing my phone and like checking my email. Or is there anyone I have to get back to right now? Or can I order groceries? Right? Or like it's bedtime and I am done. Like I am just beat. I'm cashed. And if there is a gap of like 30 seconds, right? My kids are brushing their teeth or they're going and putting their pajamas on. I see myself like I'm grabbing my phone and I'm doing the same thing. And the catch is that if you asked me now or like 5 years ago or 9 years ago, what my core values were, being present with my family was probably going to be near the top of that list, right? Something that I say is really important to me. And yet, my phone usage is like telling another story, right? If you're following me around all day long, you might be like, hey, there's something going on here where the things that she says are really important to her aren't actually showing up in how she's spending her time, right? I've been there. And that gap, right, between what we say we value and the choices that we make, how we spend our time, where our attention goes, how we expend our energy, when there is a gap, we feel like that misalignment, right? And I think that's a place where energy leaks. That's a place where we get to that, like, I went all day today and I got to the end of the day and like, I don't even know where my time went, or I just don't feel like myself anymore, right? Or I've lost my joy or my spark or what have you. A lot of that can live in the gap between the things that we say are important to us and what actually shows up. And this is a foundational piece of work that I do with all of my clients. We do work around our core values. So, really early on in the coaching journey, I'll sit down with them and I'll pull up this list of core values. I'm actually going to share it with you guys here for free. So, I'll link it in the show notes. You can go ahead and click it and you can kind of see the little work sheet that I use with my clients and you can use it yourself. But the idea is that we go through and we identify their core values. So these are not core values of your parents. These are not the core values of your husband or your kids or your boss or, society at large. Like these are the things that are actually so important to you. Okay. And it's important that we identify those because unless we know what your values are, unless we know what you say is actually most important to you, what are we protecting with boundaries, right? What are we even talking about when we say whether something feels aligned or not, right? How are you actually prioritizing your time and your energy if we don't know what are the things that are important for us to be focusing on, right? Why does your life feel out of alignment if we don't even know what direction we're going in? Like we're so obsessed with speed, but we're going in a direction that's not going to get us where we want to be. So we go through this values list together and I have them identify maybe like 3 to 5 core values. Okay. So we do that whole exercise. And then once we've got it down and they're like, yeah, this feels really good. Then I'm like, all right, now open up your calendar. And they do. And I'm like, all right, let's go to last week. Let's look at 7 days. Now show me where these 4 or 5 core values show up in your calendar, right? Where did you intentionally put blocks in here to protect these values? Where did you intentionally schedule time, right? To make sure that you're living in alignment with the things that are most important to you. And every single time without fail, right? And I mean, every single time, it's such a humbling exercise because not because my clients are like not managing their calendars well, not because they're not trying hard, but because we're all so busy and we're so caught up in like the things that we think we should be doing or we just have been doing forever and we keep doing them because that's just the things that we do, right? That we rarely stop and ask ourselves, like, hey, is this actually furthering the things that are most important to me? Is this actually protecting the things that I say I value most? So, what I want you to know up front is like, if you do this exercise, like go ahead, click on the link, grab the worksheet, do the exercise, take, I don't know, 10 minutes, right? Between now and next Friday. It might be a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. I encourage you to lean into that. And if you feel that, you're in good company. It's not a reflection of your character, but it is a reflection of, just the urgency I think that we show up with in a lot of our day to day without clear direction on like, hey, why are we doing this? Or where are we even going? So that's your high cap move for the week. Okay. We're going to do a values versus time audit. So I'm going to tell you how it's going to work and then I'm going to invite you to go do it. But we're going to do this in two parts. So part one, you can actually start doing this now while you're listening, is that you're going to identify maybe your top 3 to 5 core values. Again, not what you think they should be, right? This is not like performative or aspirational, not what sounds good or best or acceptable or like what a good mom would do. I want you to get real and honest about what actually matters to you most in this season of your life, right? And our core values can shift. There are things that were really important to me when I was in law school. There were things that were really important to me when I was, when I met my husband and was just starting to date that are very, like, they're just not core values of mine anymore as I've grown and matured. Thank you, Lord. So I have a whole list for you guys. You can kind of brainstorm as you go through them, check off maybe the ones that seem the most resonant, take another pass through. If there are values that are similar, then maybe just choose one, right? The one that feels most true for you. But things like, I'm talking like presence, right? Like I was saying earlier, your health, faith, connection, relationships, creativity, right? Growth, learning, adventure, financial security, contribution, family, freedom, joy, integrity, rest. Like these are just some that come to mind for me. So if you're drawing a list or you want, if you're drawing a blank or if you want a list to work from, I've linked a bunch of core values in that PDF. So you can pull it up and just let a few words kind of rise to the surface, right? You don't need to finalize it right now, but you're just going to start noticing what lands and then really distilling it down to the things that are most important to you. And then, and this is your high cap move of the week, you're not just going to like be like, cool, I figured out what my core values are, and then let that like drift back into the ether. You're going to take action on it. All right. So between now and next Friday, I want you to go and block 10 minutes in your calendar. So go ahead, pull up your calendar from the past week, and go through it, right? All of your meetings, all of your commitments, like how are you spending your time in the evenings, in the mornings, on the weekends, your margins, like just start to take inventory, the things that you do, and then the things that actually show up in your calendar and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Be honest with yourself. Like, do the things that show up in your day to day, in your schedule, do they reflect what you say you value, right? Do they reflect and protect what you say actually matters for you? You don't have to color code this or like have this elaborate system. Just start to honestly notice, where is their alignment? And then where does it seem like there's a gap, right? I say I value health, but like I haven't moved my body in the last 6 days. Okay, that's a gap. And then I want you to make one small rebalancing shift before the next Friday. Not an overhaul, right? You're not like redoing this whole thing and blowing the calendar up, and like one move, okay? Maybe it's your phone is going to be in another room after like 5 p.m. Maybe it's you're going to put something on your calendar that actually reflects a value you've been neglecting, right? Maybe it's a coffee date you're going to schedule. Maybe it's you're going to set your alarm 20 minutes earlier and get up and like meditate and just have some quiet time. Maybe you're going to meal plan, like whatever it looks like. Maybe it's just saying no to a lot of things that you see on your calendar that you're like, that's actually not furthering any of my values in this season. I'm going to start declining some of this stuff. Okay. But make it small, make it specific. Make it something that is doable before next Friday. And as you do so, you're going to watch your day to day life, right? Your systems, your habits, and your routines start to come into alignment with the things that you say are actually important to you, your actual core values, your actual priorities. And when there's alignment there, that is so life giving, right? You're going to notice such an increase in energy, in fulfillment, in your feelings of like productivity because you're actually taking action on the things that you value and you say are important. So go do your audit on your values, distill that down to like, I don't know, 4 or 5 core values, and then take action on it. Okay. One rebalancing shift before we talk again next Friday. And then I'll see you on Tuesday for our full length episode. And then come back on Friday for your next high cap move of the week.